All right, welcome to another edition of WriteSean.com. Today I'm answering a question from Richard Baston. I think this is his second question. And he says, given that they keep changing the rules and all the focus is moving away from small content creators, how should brands use Facebook as a marketing channel? Now, for a little background on this year Facebook is kind of changing. I think they updated how Facebook pages for business, how much reach posts will get from a Facebook page. And this has nothing to do with Facebook profiles. And you guys should really follow Larry Kim. He seems to be the one that's the most up to date on this stuff. And I think he has a lot of good suggestions on what to do. I've never been a fan of Facebook, primarily because I usually work in the B2B space, and Facebook can work for B2B. It's just not, it just doesn't hit as hard. And the main reason why is, Facebook is for friends and it's for people who don't want to think about work. So when you start trying to publish a lot of stuff on Facebook that's B2B related, I've never seen it as a great channel for it. Doesn't mean it doesn't work. Anyway, let me get on to the question. So the first thing I do, or the first thing I talk about on this post, is I kind of go on a rant about. I said this years ago. I learned from experience that you don't invest everything in, don't put all your eggs in the social media basket. It's very tempting to put a lot of energy into building up social media profiles and kind of thinking that if you get social media licked, everything's solved. And one of the reasons why I warn people about this is that you don't own your social media accounts. They're not yours. They're owned by Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, whatever. And you can lose an account overnight. You can get banned for things that may be ridiculous, and you might never have any recourse, and you'll never be able to get it back. When I was working at Kissmetrics, I think we lost our Facebook page somehow. We may have gotten it back, but it was a huge pain in the butt. And it's just one of these things where your email marketing, your email list, you actually own and control those. So those should always be your number one priority over social media. And I get into it further with email marketing. I talk about how. I talk about how with email marketing, if people actually subscribe to your list, they're actually really interested in what you have to say, and that's a great test. It's like, wow, actually, someone actually cares what I have to say. That means you're doing something right. If people just follow you blindly on social media, it doesn't really mean they're that interested in what you have to say. Not only that, when you start emailing people out and people are unsubscribing, you really know if you have people's attention or not, which is really the most important thing in marketing. Like, do people actually care what you have to say? So email first, always, and always improve your email marketing. And that's probably a good way to once you have that down, then your social media will probably even be better. Because you'll know what messaging and content resonates the best with followers that jive with you. Also, I have an example for my past. I used to run an online skateboard shop years ago, and we invested in MySpace marketing. And I think we had over 100,000 followers back then, and that was a big deal. I had 4 computers running all day long, and they were constantly auto-posting comments and adding friends. And it helped increase sales, but it also annoyed the hell out of people. But then, basically overnight, everyone moved off MySpace to Facebook. So it was kind of like that. It wasn't like a huge waste, but it was like, wow, that kind of sucks, right? And we didn't do a good job of trying to save that following somehow and bringing them over to email or to Facebook. They just kind of disappeared. And we didn't do any email marketing, which was the biggest dope, right? This is why I put this in the post. We should have been doing email marketing first instead of investing in MySpace. So I go on to say, now if you really want to get the most out of Facebook, one thing that is helpful are Facebook profiles. And this is the thing I also don't like about Facebook, is that you have to have a personal profile in order to have a Facebook page. So anyone in your organization that's going to work on your Facebook business page, they have to sign in with a personal account, which I think is the worst idea ever. Because sometimes you don't realize what account you're in, and someone that's running a social media account might post something that's not appropriate to a business page by accident, and it's very hard to keep that from happening. And I think it's just a terrible idea. Unless something's changed, I mean, that's how I've always worked with Facebook, and I can't stand it. Like, you should be able to have individual business page profiles that you can log into, have nothing to do with your personal account, and you can keep it separate, and you know what world you're in, right? There can't be any accidents. But there is a weird blessing in disguise, I guess. If depending on the company size, sometimes the CEO, owner, president has a good following, and that their personal Facebook profile is way more powerful than a page. You get way more reach. I mean, you basically get 100% reach. They don't filter it at all. So even though you kind of got to be careful when you do this, but you can make updates like, hey, everyone knows what I do. We're having a big sale tomorrow, whatever. Once in a while, they can post updates to their profile, and it gets a ton of reach. It'll probably get tons of shares and likes, and it can be amazing. So that's something to consider. Other than that, I was going to say that one of the best things about Facebook is actually getting feedback and how you engage. And this is not. It's really hard to do in B2B, but for like regular Facebook marketing, B2C, like say you're running the Ben and Jerry's Facebook page, and you notice, oh man, the new Facebook update has brought our engagement down. What should we do? You just do things like ask the question, chocolate or vanilla, and you'll get like 10,000 responses. You could just post a digital coupon to that thread, or actually interact with people individually. Next thing you know, they might sell all their ice cream nationwide the next day. So it's really good for that, for asking questions and engaging with fun stuff. And when you start getting creative, it can really blow up and run away. So it just depends on what you're doing. If you're B2B, I mean, I just say spend more time on LinkedIn, really. But you can always post stuff to your Facebook page. You can ask questions. It really depends on if you've ever developed a Facebook profile or a Facebook page that has a lot of followers that are engaged. If you don't have that already, I don't know if it's worth spending time building that up at all. Again, start with your email list, then go to LinkedIn. I would put Facebook at the end of the pile, really, on things to work on if you're for B2B. I'm not saying that it's not worth it or you won't find luck, but I just think it's smarter to start with your email, then go to LinkedIn, and then Twitter and Facebook. Instagram is probably even a better place to spend your time than Facebook right now. So I hope that answers the question. I hope I didn't rant too much and go off on a tangent, but this one does get emotional for me. All right, thanks.